I woke up from a coma pregnant. My husband had a vasectomy 8 years ago. The neurologist was explaining something about brain plasticity when I felt it. A flutter, low in my abdomen, unmistakable, and impossible. Dr. Kaminsky kept talking about my recovery timeline. 6 weeks in a medically induced coma after the car accident, remarkable progress, minimal cognitive damage. But I wasn't listening anymore. My hand moved to my stomach under the hospital blanket, pressing gently, feeling the curve that shouldn't be there. When I looked down, I could see it. A slight swell beneath the thin cotton gown. My husband David sat in the chair by the window, his face gaunt from weeks of worry, nodding along with the doctor's words. I interrupted them both, my voice rough from disuse. I think I'm pregnant. Dr. Kaminsky stopped mid-sentence, and David's head snapped toward me, his expression shifting from concern to confusion. The doctor smiled that patronizing smile medical professionals use when patients say something illogical. Mrs. Garrett, that's likely just some bloating from the feeding tube and immobility. Perfectly normal after extended bed rest, she continued. Your body has been through significant trauma. No, I said, more firmly this time. I'm pregnant. I can feel it moving. The room went silent except for the beeping of monitors. David stood up slowly, his face pale. Sweetheart, that's not possible. You've been unconscious for 6 weeks. Before that, we hadn't been intimate in months because of your work schedule. Plus, I had that vasectomy 8 years ago. Remember? We decided after the twins were born. Dr. Kaminsky pulled out her tablet, scrolling through my medical records with a frown deepening across her face. We did multiple scans during your treatment. There was no indication of pregnancy. Let me call for an ultrasound right now just to rule this out and ease your mind. The way she said it made it clear she thought I was confused, possibly experiencing some post-coma delusion. But I knew my own body. I'd been pregnant twice before with our twin daughters, and this feeling was unmistakable. The ultrasound technician arrived 20 minutes later, wheeling in the portable machine with an expression that suggested she'd been briefed on the situation. She squeezed gel onto my stomach, her movements efficient and professional. The wand pressed against my skin, and within seconds the room filled with a sound that made everyone freeze. A heartbeat, fast and strong, echoing through the monitor speakers. The technician's face went from skeptical to shocked in the span of a breath. There it is, she said quietly, turning the screen toward us. Approximately 20 weeks gestation based on measurements. Perfectly healthy fetal development. The image showed unmistakably what I already knew. A baby, curled and moving, fingers visible near its face. David made a sound like all the air had left his body. Dr. Kaminsky grabbed the monitor, staring at the screen like it might change if she looked hard enough. This doesn't make any sense. We've done 3 CT scans, 2 MRIs. How did we miss this? The technician saved several images, her hands shaking slightly. Sometimes early pregnancy doesn't show clearly on scans focused on brain trauma, but at 20 weeks, this should have been obvious on any abdominal imaging. She looked at Dr. Kaminsky with an expression I couldn't read. This is going to need documentation, a lot of it. David hadn't moved from his spot by my bed. His face had gone from pale to gray. 20 weeks means you got pregnant right before the accident, but we hadn't been together in 3 months before that. I remember because I was traveling for work. I tried to sit up, but my muscles were still weak from 6 weeks of immobility. David, I was in a coma. I don't know how this happened. His eyes met mine, and I saw something I'd never seen there before. Doubt, raw and undeniable. The technician quickly left with her equipment, muttering about getting the attending physician. Dr. Kaminsky stood there looking between us, clearly realizing this had moved beyond medical mystery into something else entirely. Mr. Garrett, would you step outside with me for a moment? David followed her without a word, leaving me alone with the monitor still showing my vitals. My heart rate had spiked, the numbers climbing as panic set in. Through the partially open door, I could hear their voices. David's rising in pitch, asking how this was possible, demanding answers. Dr. Kaminsky's responses were measured but firm, explaining the medical facts while carefully avoiding the obvious implication hanging in the air between them, that somehow, while unconscious, I'd gotten pregnant. 20 minutes passed before David came back in. His face was composed now, that blank expression he used when dealing with difficult clients at his law firm. He sat down in the chair, not at my bedside, but across the room. The distance felt intentional. Dr. Kaminsky wants to run genetic testing on the baby. Her tone suggested this wasn't a request. I felt my chest tighten. You think I cheated on you? He didn't answer immediately. When he finally spoke, his voice was carefully neutral. I think something happened that doesn't make sense, and we need answers. And what we discovered next made everything so much worse. Full story is linked below or on my channel.